Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to World Cinema Reviews. This is your host, Frank the Vamp. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm continuing to struggle with sickness, but I'm cranking up as many videos as I can. Tonight, we continue with the movie reviews here, and I just have to talk about this movie tonight. I am just so thrilled because this movie, it's truly, one of those movies that wasn't really supposed to be what it is. And it's an anthology horror film made in 2007 that pretty much didn't get a theatrical wide release, and but because it was so good, it actually reached people and even got a cult following. I think it got a DVD release like 2 years later, and it wasn't really widely known until it started going to Comic Cons and word of mouth and things like that. And of course, I need to, if you if you're a horror fan, you probably know what movie I'm talking about, which is Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat, made in 2007, directed by Michael Dougherty, starring um, Dylan Baker, Rochelle Aids, Anna Paquin, of course, of X-Men and True Blood, Save, and Brian Cox. And this movie is just so awesome. It's a horror anthology. I mean, it's on in 2007, but it brings me back to the 80s where horror anthologies were awesome. It really reminds me of Creepshow. It reminds me also of Tales from the Crypt. It's so well done and so articulate, so awesome that, I mean, it really does, genuinely, bring a smile to my face. And I'm gonna try to spoil, you know, as very little as possible, which it comes to the plot, which is basically four stories, but with one thing in common, which is the character of Sam, which we're gonna talk about second. But let's talk about the plot. So it's basically four stories that are connected, and the good thing that it's kind of like it's done in a unique way. Usually anthologies just told a story, right, by a narrator, whatever. You could have your crypt keeper, your vault keeper, your character evil that narrates, or just happens to go across stories or some way or some kind of connection, or there's a central theme that just spreads out. But this is done like the stories don't really, sometimes they don't end, sometimes they keep carrying on to just show you like little bits. So you have to always be paying attention of what story is really over and which one is not. And it's done kind of in a unique, kind of nice way, which I dig. And basically, it's about this awesome stories. One, being about this couple that doesn't really observe the traditions of Halloween so much. But there's this character of, this character of evil, this agent of evil that wanders around the story called Sam, which you will see that, looks like a cute kid with a burlap sack over his head with a weird pumpkin like smile, dressed in orange, uh, carrying a little popsicle that he could use as a weapon. And if I don't think it's wife to piss him off, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Then we follow this other story about this principal who's very naughty and likes to do bad things to kids during Halloween. And he's gonna, no spoilers here, but he's gonna do really bad things. And it's really rather amusing how he interacts. And we'll know if he gets his comeuppance or not. But it's really cool and interesting. And he did, the actor, he hams it up. He really plays it well. I really like it. What was it? Is Dylan Baker, and a great job there. I mean, you really hate this guy, and you're rooting for him to get his comeuppance. And then we get a story with the beautiful Anna Paquin from True Blood and X-Men fame, where she it's just young virgin girl going out with her sisters and friends, and she's trying to, how can I say, um looks are deceiving, and things are not what they seem. So who's the hunter and who's the hunted? This little girl goes through the woods, and will she be Little Red Riding Hood, or will she be the big bad wolf? Hmm. We can have. We also have some awesome, possibly vampires somewhere in there. Hmm. It's all murky, but if you get to see it, you'll find out. So got another story of this unfortunate kids that are, that have some problems, some issues, some emotional and possibly mental issues, and the townspeople are so ashamed of them that they basically send them to another town, and so that the parents will not be shamed by their odd appearance that are covered by 365 days a year Halloween outfits, because we don't know if it's because of their mental illness or just because they are of a grotesque nature. That's not known until later. And what happens is that there's some kids that go in there, they're telling the story, and they're doing a Halloween there, a very fun Halloween there, to go to the place where they're supposedly all die, because supposedly the legend says that the parents paid the bus driver to drive the bus into a ravine, a water ravine, and toss them there and kill them. Uh, However, the bus driver seems to have survived somehow in the struggle. And the spirit of the kids, I don't know if it's resting in peace or it'll be a practical joke. Finally, we also get to see what happens to that driver that survived. And the last thing I want to say about the plot is the cool interaction of Sam, the character, which is, like I said, he's kind of an agent of evil, kind of making sure that all the Halloween traditions are being passed down right and done right. And if something it isn't, he wants to be there. He wants to be there when it goes down. So he's kind of an observant, but he could become a participant if you piss him off. So I wouldn't mess with that little guy if I was you. Um, the film, it works in so many levels because it's scary, it's clever, has a lot of dark comedy, dark humor. It's really, it brings me back memories of the 80s horror. Um, Really, really clever writing all around, great acting. I mean, shoot, it's an A-, B+ film any day. So would I recommend you to watch this? Of course, if you haven't, I mean, watch this little jewel. I mean, and now more and more people are recognizing Sam as a horror icon. Because one thing about Halloween is that whether you like to celebrate it or not, whether you think it's a thing of evil or everything that stands for, there hasn't been many movies that celebrate Halloween, all the traditions and all the lore and everything's being followed. So there's some films that take place on Halloween, and there's places that there's Halloween related type of movies, but movies that honor Halloween, not very many. So if you're into that, definitely you'll be glad. So if you like this video, please comment. If you didn't like it, comment. Please subscribe. I really enjoy my time with you guys. Watch Trick or Treat. Take it easy. Be blessed. And see you on the next. See you in the next review.